Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to discuss on Java. So in Java today I'm going to tell you about keywords. What are keywords? Keywords are special words in Java. Each and every word will have its own meaning. Like we have list of integer, list of keywords like integer, int, we call it as int, double, char, that is character, boolean, we have true, false, etc. These are the identifiers. So what are identifiers? These identifiers are the name given by the developers. So how do what are the valid identifiers? So this way you can write identifiers, like you can start with capital letters, small letters, A, Z, T, and we can use 0, 9, dollar, ampersand, underscore. These are valid. What are invalid? You can't start with an we can have the words A, Z and 09 dollar, but here's the catch is you can't start with number or special character. That is like you can start with dollar. Dollar is valid, ampersand is valid, and underscore is valid. But you can't start with hash, and you can't start with number, and you can't have space, and you can't use at the rate is also in between is invalid. So these are some of identifiers, and we there are two types of this writing the variable names. These are camel casing and Pascal casing. Camel casing, if the word, if the first letter of the word is a small letter and second letter it should be capital, then we call it as camel casing. Like for example, H is small letter, ID is small, but when you have combination of letters, so S should be small, and the number attaching to the word that is attaching to that should be capital letter. Like speed, S should be small, and off, C should be capital, and O should be capital. These are the naming conventions you need to follow, and just some more important things like we have access specifier, access modifier. So it's like writing a program would be like access specifier, access specifier, access specifier, and next would be access modifier, and that void some name, void main or some name, void or that method name, open braces and close braces. This is how we are going to have the method. First one would be access specifier. Access specifiers are examples are like public, private, protected. Access modifiers are static, non-static. We'll discuss this in coming future more, but for now understand access specifier. Access specifier is public, private, protected, and there is one more thing like default. For now remember this, access modifiers are static and non-static members. Like next we can maintain only single copy of static number because class loader will be executed only once for every class. But before that, let me show some examples of how we are going to use access specifier and access modifier. Let me show you. I'm using this. Let me drag it somewhat. Okay. Now let me create, rerun it once. Yeah, let me reload it. I'm using online GDB compiler. You can use anything if for your convenient, but for now I'm using for this tutorial online GDB compiler. I'm selecting Java as a language. Okay, public. Okay, now let me show you what are this, like something like static and non-static methods. Public static. Let me remove this and type main starts or here and println type println. I'll tell main ends here. After that it's done. Now let's me just press enter. Now I will call a method like walk. Okay, walk. Let me create this method here outside this main method, that is public static walk method. Let me put println. Now I'll say like walk carefully, something you can type in here. And now let me run it. What do you think the output would be? Is there any error? Wait just a second. Static void walk. Down main method walk. Close it. Close it. It's minutes. Okay, invalid method declaration, return type required. Okay, forgot to put here void. Yeah, you can put that return type is can be integer, int or anything, but for now I'm taking it as void. Void means empty. So you can see the output and it's saying like main starts, walk carefully, main ends. How this is executing? We know that anyway in any class first method is going to execute is main method. So it getting inside the main, it encountered the main starts. After that it encountered walk. Then it's going to the walk method and telling walk carefully. After it's printing this, I'm coming to the next statement. It's printing main ends. So this is how it's going to be work. Now let me show some other example. Instead of just like walk, let me say walk. I'll say fly, or let me try drive. Let me check. Tell drive carefully. Next I'll call this method before walk. You'll see what happens. Drive method. Now if I run this method, see it's printing main starts, Drive carefully, walk carefully means. Now you can ask me, we have called walk here first, then drive. How it's walk is coming first? Sorry, how drive is coming first instead of walk? So because inside the main method we have called drive method first. Maybe we might declare walk first, but we are calling here this drive method first. That's the reason it's printing the drive method instead of walk method. Now let me do one thing. Remove this main method. Control X. Remove it. I'll put in here. Nothing will change. See, it's telling main starts, drive carefully, walk carefully, main ends. So after entering to the main method, first after it's always going to enter into main method and it checks what is written in it. It's printing first one. Next, if you encounter drive and it go to drive method, printing it, coming out of the loop. After that, coming here. After drive method, it's going for walk. It's coming for walk method and printing this everything. And after that, it's printing main ends. This is how it's going to work. And if you see, there are two types of method. The one is static method and non-static methods. So after that, after this we have static method and non-static method. Now we can maintain only a single copy of static method because class loader will be executed only once, but we can create a multiple copies of non-static method. We can create multiple objects for it. Now you see, this is a static method. Static method can be called directly. Now if I run it, see, it's telling non-static method cannot be called, drive method cannot be called directly. So for this, you need to create an object in here. Instead of calling like this, drive method, instead of that you need to create a method like this. What is this class name? Main, right? So you need to call like main, call this class main m equal to new main, calling this, and call this m dot, what's that method? Drive, drive. Creating an object. See, here we are creating an object for this class, and with this object we are calling that non-static method. Every time when we are calling a non-static method, we need to create object of that class. Sorry, this is a method, not a statement. So you need to put that as a method. So it's calling like this. If you see, it's calling main starts, drive carefully, walk carefully, main ends. This is how it's going to get executed. That's the reason I mentioned we can maintain a single copy of static member because class loader will only load once. So what is the point means is, now if you call walk and run it now, you can maintain only single copy of non-static member. Sorry. A single copy of static members of class loader will be executed only once. This is a single copy static. So this main class only executed only once, so we are going to have only single copy, but we can create a multiple copies of the object. See, this main class only runs only once, but if you see, for this object we can create multiple copies, like I mentioned here, we can maintain multiple copies of non-static members because we can create multiple objects. I can create multiple objects like m2 m1 equal to new main. I'll call this mDrive. Save this method again. m1 run. See, you can call multiple. You can create multiple objects for this non-static method, and we can call it again and again, like this. Next, there is one more concept like class. Class is used for designing a blueprints for an object. So we are telling like class. We are telling like class is used for creating a blueprints for an object. What do we mean by this? Let me explain. But before that, let me give an example. We can create multiple copies of this object more briefly. See, let me call this main method, and let me create one more. Remove this thing. Remove all these things, and let me remove this. For that, let me tell you one example. Static int a equal to 100, int b equal to 20 to 100. So first a is the static member. First a is the static. So let me print that. Print ln a. Now demo b, sorry, not b, let me take d1 equal to new demo. Next, demo d2 equal to new demo. Let me take it d1 d2. Okay, now if we print this demos d1 dot p z d1 dot p d2 dot b. It's not d1, so it's d. If I run it, sorry, it's not demo. This, sorry, this object is created for this class, so this class name should be call it as main main main. So object is created for this class. Now if I call this object this main class, now you see main starts. First, after entering it in here in the main method, it's going to print main starts and print this a value, that is 100. See here. Now after that we are calling this method main method and creating an object for it and calling this d value. Because it's not static number, we are calling it d and we are printing that value. It's printing 200, and after that again we are printing creating a new object and calling it, again it's printing 200. This is how we are going to call these methods. Hope you understand this thing. Now let me tell you some more things like class and object. Class is used to design blueprint for an object. So what are object? Object is a mirror image of blueprint created by class. So now let me give you an example. Class, we can call class is a logical entity and object is a real entity. Why object is called real entity? Objects are object will have a state and behavior. So like bus is an object. We can call bus is an object. That is a real world entity. So real world entities are generally taken as objects. So what does bus has? Bus has color, bus has speed. This color and speed are called as states. Every object will have state and behavior, right? So this bus will have color and speed. These are known as states. Whereas behavior is bus will move. This kind of things are them. I mean, what does bus perform? Just is going to use for traveling. That means it's moves, right? So its behavior is moves. So this is how we can take an example. Like you can ask something like, you can say one more example like let's say SBI. SBI is a bank name. What does we're going to have in the bank? Account number, account holder name, balance. This kind of things are called state. What are the behaviors? We can deposit, we can withdraw. These are called behaviors. So these are the examples of this class and object. Hope you are able to understand what I'm trying to say. And that's all for this lecture. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. If you're new to this channel, if you like it, please like. Thanks for watching. If you have any doubt, please comment. Thank you.